the wedding photo that destroyed my life. The photo was taken on the happiest day of my life. My wife was smiling beside me, dressed in a beautiful red bridal outfit. I had my arm around her shoulders, proud and grateful that she had chosen me. Behind us stood my family, my parents, cousins, friends, and my younger brother, Arjun. For months after the wedding, that picture hung on the wall of our bedroom. I looked at it almost every day. What I didn't know was that the two people smiling the brightest in that photograph were hiding a secret that would destroy my marriage, shatter my family, and leave me questioning every memory I had ever trusted. I discovered the truth 8 months after the wedding, and it started with a phone call that wasn't meant for me. My name is Raj. Growing up, Arjun wasn't just my younger brother. He was my best friend. We shared everything: our room, our dreams, our struggles, and even our secrets. Whenever someone asked about us, they would say the same thing: these two brothers are inseparable. And they were right. When I got a good job in another city, Arjun was the first person I called. When he graduated from college, I threw him a party. When our father fell sick, we stood together. I trusted him more than anyone in the world. Then I met Priya. She was intelligent, kind, and beautiful. We met through mutual friends and quickly became close. After 2 years of dating, I proposed. She said yes. I felt like the luckiest man alive. My family welcomed her warmly, especially Arjun. The two got along surprisingly well. At family gatherings they joked together, laughed together, and often shared conversations. I saw it as a good sign. After all, who wouldn't want their wife and brother to have a healthy relationship? Looking back now, I wonder if the warning signs were always there. Maybe I was just too happy to notice. A few weeks before the wedding, I noticed something strange. One evening I called Priya. Her phone was busy, again and again. After almost an hour she finally answered. "Sorry," she said. "I was talking to a friend." I didn't think much about it. A few days later I visited her apartment unexpectedly. As I entered, she quickly locked her phone screen. The reaction seemed nervous, but when I asked about it, she laughed. "You're becoming suspicious already." I apologized immediately. I trusted her completely. Why wouldn't I? She was about to become my wife, and Arjun was my brother. The two people I trusted most. The idea that they could betray me never crossed my mind. Our wedding was beautiful. Hundreds of guests attended. Music filled the venue. Everyone looked happy, especially Priya and Arjun. At one point during the reception, I noticed them standing together in a corner talking. When I approached, the conversation stopped instantly. Arjun smiled. Priya smiled. I smiled too. Now I know they weren't smiling because they were happy for me. They were smiling because they had already fooled me. The worst part, they fooled everyone. The first few months of marriage felt normal. Priya was caring and affectionate. We decorated our apartment together. We planned trips. We discussed future children. Everything appeared perfect. Yet strange incidents kept happening. Whenever Arjun visited, Priya seemed unusually excited. She would spend extra time getting ready. Sometimes I would walk into a room and they would suddenly stop talking. Other times they would exchange quick glances. Small things, tiny things easy to dismiss. And I dismissed every single one because love makes people blind. Trust makes them even blinder. The truth arrived on a rainy evening. I was working late at home when Priya stepped out to buy groceries. Her phone remained on the table. A call came in. The screen displayed only a single letter, A. I assumed it was a female friend. The phone kept ringing. Finally I answered. "Hello." Silence. Then I heard breathing. A man's voice followed. "Priya, I miss you." I froze. The voice sounded familiar. Very familiar. My stomach tightened. "Who is this?" I asked. The call disconnected immediately. I stared at the phone. My hands were shaking. A minute later a message appeared. "Sorry, wrong time." I opened the conversation. My heart nearly stopped. Hundreds of deleted messages had been replaced by cloud backups, photos, voice notes, conversations, and one name: Arjun, my brother. At first I refused to believe it. Maybe there was an explanation. Maybe the messages were old. Maybe they were joking. Maybe. I spent 3 hours reading everything. Every message, every picture, every voice note. The affair hadn't started after the wedding. It had started before it, months before it. One message broke me completely. Arjun had written, "I hate seeing you marry him." Priya replied, "We don't have a choice." I couldn't breathe. The room felt smaller. The walls seemed to close around me. My own brother, my future wife, talking about me as if I were an obstacle. Not a person, not family, just a problem standing between them. That night I didn't sleep. I sat alone in darkness waiting. Priya returned home around 9 p.m. The moment she saw my face, her smile disappeared. "What's wrong?" she asked. I placed her phone on the table. Her eyes widened. Instantly she understood. The color drained from her face. "Raj, how long?" She began crying. I repeated the question. "How long?" Months of lies collapsed in seconds. She confessed everything. The relationship with Arjun had begun before our engagement. They had tried to end it, failed, started again, failed again. Eventually she chose marriage with me because our family supported it, because it was easier, because she believed feelings would disappear. They didn't. The next morning I drove directly to Arjun's apartment. He opened the door. One look at my face told him everything. For a few seconds neither of us spoke. Then I punched him. Years of trust exploded exploded into rage. We fell against the wall. He didn't fight back. Finally I stepped away. Why? My voice sounded broken. Not angry. Broken. His eyes filled with tears. We fell in love. I laughed bitterly. Then why let me marry her? He couldn't answer. Because there was no answer. No explanation could justify what they had done. Not love. Not confusion. Not fear. Nothing. Within days both families knew everything. My mother cried continuously. My father stopped speaking to Arjun. Priya's parents were devastated. Relatives chose sides. Friends spread rumors. The family that once seemed strong began falling apart. Some blamed Priya. Some blamed Arjun. A few blamed me for not noticing earlier. That hurt. Victims often get blamed for trusting people they loved, but trust isn't weakness. Betrayal is. 3 months later I filed for divorce. Priya didn't contest it. The process was painful. Every document felt like another funeral. The death of dreams. The death of plans. The death of a future I had imagined. A year passed. I cut contact with Arjun completely. Then one evening my mother called. Your brother wants to talk. Curiosity won. We met at a small cafe. He looked older, tired, broken. Finally he said, Priya left me. After everything, they had ended up together. Yet now she was gone. Why are you telling me this? I asked. His eyes filled with regret. Because I destroyed everything for someone who wasn't meant to stay. Healing didn't happen overnight. It took years. Therapy helped. New friendships helped. Time helped. Most importantly, accepting reality helped. I learned that betrayal rarely begins with one big mistake. It begins with small lies. Tiny secrets. Moments where honesty feels uncomfortable. Those small choices grow until they become disasters. Today that wedding photograph no longer hangs on my wall. I keep it inside a box in the back of a closet. Whenever I look at it, I see 3 people. A husband, a wife, a brother. Only one of them believed the happiness was real. And that was the man standing in the middle, smiling for a future that had already been stolen. The end. For more exciting and suspenseful videos like this, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Bye bye. See you again soon.